Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is one more week of my live stream in which we take a look at creative coding, machine intelligence, art and design, and many other things. If this is your first time connecting, I'll introduce myself. I'm Nono Martinez Alonso. I do the Nono.MA live channel, and this stream happens usually at 12 to 1 p.m. on Thursday nights, Thursday mornings in the US. And it's a time that I reserve to try to play with different algorithms. And right now we're in the midst of two different projects. And yeah, I would ask for those of you who are connecting with us today online to tell me if you can hear me and if you can see me okay. And feel free to write questions or to introduce yourself. Say hi if you're on the live stream, if you're connected live, and you can type on the chat. And if you're watching afterwards, don't hesitate to leave a comment. I'll be glad to hear from you. All right. So let's start and see what we have for today. Before, I'll remind you as always that liking this video is a really good way to support the channel and the work that I'm doing here. And subscribe and click the bell if you want to get notified when I go live next or when I upload new videos. You can also join the community at Nono.MA's Discord. Is a Discord server. At the moment it's called Getting Simple, but you know, we have a big umbrella for things that we talk on this live stream that have to do with coding and art and creativity and machine intelligence, and also things about the podcast and sketching and other things. There's a QR code there that is easier to enter on in your phone. Otherwise, you can type this URL. Last week, we did live 41, and you can access it at Nono.MA/live/41, as you can any of the previous episodes of this live stream. And I forgot to mention that this is season 2 of the live stream. So we've been going since late September, and we have two big goals that we'll see right now. Last week, we covered the Perfect-Freehand TypeScript and JavaScript library for the web, and we built with it a drawing application. This is part of the AI sketching collaborative project. And, you know, we got to be able to have a working application that rationalizes the strokes that we put there with a specific set of parameters. You can go back to last week's video if you want to take a look. We're also editing behind the scenes the videos so you can watch them in a more digestible format. And there is also a freehand web drawing video, something that we couldn't do last week that we managed to do, just building this package. And it's a 4-minute video. It's on YouTube. I didn't put a URL here, but you can just go to the channel. And yeah, as always, you can take a look at the announcements on Instagram and Twitter. My handle is NONOESP. And that's it for the intro. The goals for this season, as we have been reviewing every week, are to create an intro machine intelligence course. It's going to be titled Intro to Machine Intelligence for Designers, foster the community and grow the live stream, the podcast, and do weekly or monthly challenges, and to grow the community on the Discord server and foster more collaboration there. As a reminder, there is a share your work channel that you can use to share your projects. And another goal is to build a collaborative AI sketching platform. This is something we've already started doing. We're on the process of building the drawing application and figuring out how the collaboration is going to happen. And then I am working towards delegating video post-processing and also podcast editing and transcription fixing and many other things. If you're interested in helping, write on Discord or in the comments or something, and we can connect. Okay, and thanks to Rob and Sajeh for letting me know that everything is working fine. Okay, as always, a reminder, if you're listening to the podcast or you're watching the live stream, you can submit your questions at gettingsimple.com/ask, and I'd be super happy to hear from you. What are we going to do today? I have set as topics today the drawing application, AI sketching, and WebSockets. Drawing application, we're going to continue seeing how we use Perfect-Freehand for a project, and WebSockets, we might try, maybe not not necessarily WebSockets, but some technology that allows us to communicate between different clients that are connecting to the same system, right? We can, I think we're going to be using YJS. That is something that Rob shared on Discord. And through there, we can either do peer-to-peer communication with the Y WebRTC connector or WebSockets with the Y WebSocket connector. These are two different providers for the connection that YJS needs. And the YJS is a CRDT, I think is collision. Yeah, I don't remember what that stands for. But yeah, this is for today. And I'm not sure, this is the collaborative AI sketching and let's code. Yeah, so this is it for today. We don't have more slides to cover. So I'm going to make a quick intro for this and we'll get started. Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is one more work session, part of the collaborative AI sketching project that we're doing on the live stream. We're gonna share many videos that are small snippets of things that we've done on the live stream and we have learned, and this is the live stream that I do at Nono.MA live on YouTube. You can access it at Nono.MA/live and you'll see all of the videos there. And at the moment in this work session, we're going to be taking a look at how to create a drawing app, or how to continue that because we've already done a fair amount of work on there, and how to connect multiple clients to draw together, or any system that you want to do for collaboration online with probably YJS, and maybe looking at technologies like WebRTC and WebSockets. Without further ado, let's get coding. Okay, so let's take a look at our document of the goals. So I'm gonna switch off the display for a brief second. I'm gonna open a few things here that I need to set up before we get going. And here, and live stream. All right. Great. Awesome. Great. So this is the ongoing document that we're trying to curate, and we're going through with the different objectives, right? So these are the objectives that we were taking a look at before, and we have some files or some parts of this project that we did last week. So let me bring this here. We're going to navigate to the repo and take a look at live 41. We take a look at this React.TS Perfect-Freehand. So let's take a look at where we were. So this is sort of a recap. And I think this is with Yarn. I think I can do Yarn start to get this application started, because we already have all the models working. Again, if you wanna see how, what we're doing here, you probably can, you can simply go to Nono.MA live 41, and in there you're gonna find the video in which we covered all of these things. That is gonna load here a bit heavy, but right. So this is the video that we are talking about, and you have chapters here, so you can you can navigate and focus to the parts that most interest you. There is, we already talked about these things, like what YJS is, WebSockets versus WebRTC, and other things like that. Okay, so let's get going. So this is the application that I was showing before that we have. It's still on really early stages, right? But this is already like a working stroke-based application. And if you take a look, there is rationalization that happens on our strokes as we move. It's not the same doing this than doing that, right? there is something that is happening when we move. That wouldn't happen if we were not rationalizing these sketches. All right, so this is one application, and you have the source code in here. So at on the github.com/nonoesp/live, and folder 41 has the source code for this application. So you can see it's pretty straightforward. If you look at it linearly, we spent some time to do it last week. And what we also discovered, and that's the other video that I released on the channel, is that we, in this video of freehand web drawing, is that we can really easily build the application with all of the components that we can see on this live Perfect-Freehand app online. Okay, so well, this is something that I sketched here, and you can clear the screen, right? And we've seen this repeatedly, so I won't go into more detail on what this is and stuff. But one thing that I think we discovered the other day when I was talking to Nate Peters, and we'll have an episode with Nate on the podcast, right? Is that this thing that you can see here when we click is I think is part of the Radix UI design system, I believe. I'm not sure. I'm not completely sure. And style UI component with focus. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. This might be true or not. We didn't really get down to what library this one actually was. Radix icons. Well, let's take a look here. Let's see if we can make sure that I'm saying that and it's true. So this is a popover styling. Let's see, we have a slider. Okay, I mean, it might be, I'm not too sure. Let's actually go to the Perfect-Freehand repo and take a look. So if you go into packages dev, this is the application that we were running before. And if we go to components, you have the controls, control module, index.tsx, control TSX, components, select, slider. Right, let's take a look. Controls, components, select, slider. React label, Radix, React slider. All right, so this is an implementation, and it does seem like this slider comes from the Radix UI, right? So you can see here Radix UI, React slider. So this is Radix UI, and this is a slider, but there is something that is being configured here. Track, root, label. I don't know how theming works in here. Visually hidden, toolbar. Can be controlled and controlled. Well, it does seem like it looks really neat. So maybe this is something that we can also use, right? Keyboard interactions. So let's see if we click here. Oh wow. All right, so separators, an open source UI component library, toggle slider. So we have these sliders, so we have it here. And if we open this in Code Sandbox, maybe we can tweak it a bit. Okay, so there is CSS styling. Let me see. Okay, slider model.css. Slider model.css. There is a bunch of stuff here. Styles. Let's just put this here. Styles.root. Root. Well, yeah, anyhow, so there's a way in which you can customize this and make it look like we were seeing before. All right, so let me pop up my chat. So I can see your comments better. All right, so the goal of today, as we've established in here, right, is to do the drawing app, right? So let me take a look and tell you what's on my mind here. So one sec. Right. All right. So all right, where is this? Okay, so we have to build a drawing application, and we already had that one. So let's see from what we have in here what we would like to have, right? Do we want these controls at the beginning? We might not want them, right? Or at least not all of them. Paper start. All right. All right, so let's see. Here we have a drawing board. It also has this concept of a canvas, right? So we can be moving. which we actually wanted. So we said we wanted to have this concept of a moving canvas. So maybe we can take a look at how they implemented it. And hello, Ricardo Cesar Rodriguez. Nice to see you around. Glad that you're connecting. So, all right, let's see. So the components here, let's see these applications. So we have, okay, actually, let's do one thing. Let's clone it as we did the other day on the video. And, you know, you can follow that specific video that I mentioned there. But let's actually clone it and work with it locally. So we can do git clone freehand and then cd perfect freehand, and then we can do pm install. This is gonna take a bit, so it's gonna take a bit, and when I'm screen sharing it makes it go slower, but we're just gonna wait. So we'll wait until this is resolved. My computer might lag a bit, but hopefully it doesn't take that long. And yeah, so we'll just wait. And meanwhile, I can open another window and I can open this application on the Visual Studio Code project folder. And we're gonna take a look. So we have all our TypeScript setup. Perfect freehand here, this. Yeah, I remember when I tried to start this dev project, right? So if we take a look here at the perfect freehand path, you see that it says packages perfect freehand dist. So this is a package here inside that is this perfect freehand, and dist doesn't exist. So I'm guessing that this is where, yeah, dist is where this application is built. So signature perfect freehand files dist scripts start build Yankee out there these types. Right, we can learn a lot from this project. So how is our project still fetching stuff? Okay, it seems we might have to npm install in the perfect freehand directory as well. So these will go to packages, perfect freehand, and we also will have to run this here, but I'm gonna wait until this is resolved. All right. Hello, Juanda. Nice to see you connecting online. So Juanda is from my home. Well, not, it's living in my hometown. So we caught up last week or early this week. All right. TypeScript, like the, yeah. So Lerna, I took a look the other day, is a package when your project has multiple packages. So a tool for managing JavaScript projects with multiple packages. What I'm not sure about is if Lerna is the tool that is used to build this application. Let's take a look. Flutter designer. All right. All right, so let's take a look. So this yarn add, right? So this code actually has what an example of like what we built the other day. So I'll share that there. Let's see this Lerna.json. Use workspaces, true. Okay. Packages, Lerna. Okay, so Lerna publish, Lerna list. Let's take a look. So what happens? Okay, not sure. This didn't happen the other day. See, so it says here that leave packages should be under packages, but it's not a requirement. So you have your packages here. Okay. All right, let's try again. Let's try again from scratch. Okay. So let's see. So we're going to remove the node models, and I'm going to go into packages, dev, and also remove node models, and also in Perfect-Freehand and remove the node models. So imagine I have cloned this from scratch, so the Perfect-Freehand thing, and then we're just gonna do yarn. Let's see what that does, because this project was you know, it's meant to be run this way. So let's see. Okay, so if we take a look at, well, we already have this open on Visual Studio Code. If we take a look here at the root package.json, and we look at the scripts, start is Lerna run start stream parallel. Lerna runs Lerna build yarn build packages. Yarn build packages. All right, so that seems I don't think this is gonna work, right? Okay, it does work. Okay, that was easier. So I might have to redo the tutorial. I think, I'm not sure. All right, so let's re-record that really quickly. I think it's been super easy. Actually, no. Let's keep moving. I don't wanna spend more time. So if we go here, so in packages, Perfect-Freehand dist. So this has, so just doing yarn already built these packages, and I'm not sure if that's specified somewhere. Okay, let's see. Build yarn build packages. Okay, I mean that works, so I'm not gonna fight it, but we have this dependency here that we probably don't want to rely on this dependency like this on our project. Okay, so here, if we go back and start yarn start, right? So we see this application. And so this is starting, and we have our infinite canvas. So maybe the first thing we can do is try to branch out, and well, we don't need to branch out anything because we just clone this repo. So if we, you know, if we were to change something, we'll still get our change set here, and we can revert it, or we could create another branch. All right, so let's try to understand a bit how this infinite canvas or endless canvas is made. So we have this bundle application. This is what is being served, and this is the bundle, and we'll understand how this gets built later, maybe not today. Source, components, app, index. All right, so the index only loads the app component, setting React on strict mode. Let's see what this means. Strict mode is a tool for highlighting potential problems in an application like fragments. Strict mode does not render any visible UI. It activates additional checks and warnings for its descendants. Strict mode checks are run in development mode only. They do not impact the production build. Identifying components with unsafe life cycles. Warning about legacy string ref app usage. Warning about deprecated find DOM node usage. Detecting unexpected side effects and detecting legacy context API. All right, that sounds fair. So now we know what that is. and we can, let me actually minimize this or even close it so we don't use a CPU. All right, so we have this, and so what I'm trying to do now, we have this repo that is online, and this repo, if you run yarn, it installs all the dependencies. If you run yarn start, it runs a command that creates this website on my computer, right? It starts running the server. It's an application that we could serve on the cloud, right? So I'm gonna put here a note that a thing that we need to do on the steps required, serve Perfect-Freehand app remotely. All right, so that is there, and that's something for a future live stream. Okay, so we have this here, and we can close this repo, and we now sort of know what Lerna is, but we don't really know how to use it really. So we'll have to dig a bit more on that to learn. And because we're working on, yeah, I think maybe these things are the things that are put here by React Strict, or maybe not, maybe just warnings from yarn running the app. So I can close my terminal, right? The application will still here, so I don't know why this is still there, but what I wanted to do is to run the app here so we can track everything on one screen. Yeah, now this starting a separate port because port 5000 is in use. We didn't really stop the process, so we have two applications running now. To kill process, or find process ID by name. I think it's less of something, but let's see. So we can stop this one. Okay, so this one is not running anymore, but this one is. All right. So I'm trying to find the node process that's running on port 5000. This one. So we can say here Perfect-Freehand. All right, so we have a few things here. Not sure what these are. So PS help. This is the one I was looking at. Okay, let's off I 5000. All right. You see, so okay, let's run this again. So here this is telling me that there is a node process that is running here or was running here. Let's take a look. Nothing. And another one here. Okay, pickle. I don't understand. All right, so now I killed it, and I think this shouldn't be here anymore. All right, so how to... Okay, so let me go. So I'm gonna make a quick video on this so I remember as well. So hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is a really quick video on how you can kill a process by finding its project ID by port number. If you have started, as I have, a remote development server, in my case it was a Node server, but it could be Python or any other technology, there is a way in which you can find what project or what process ID your development server has on your local machine and then kill that. All right, so you can see here that if I run this lesov-i and then say port 5000 and I click, there's nothing there. But if we start our development server, right? So this is a process here that is starting a local development server at port 5000. You can see that because if I open this URL, the URL that we're talking about, localhost 5000, I can see this application running. I can reload the application and it will be always working because this is here, right? If you close Visual Studio Code in this case, or whatever has started the process, and you don't have a way to get back to this terminal, because at the moment I can stop the process and this stops being there, right? If you were to lose that, as has happened to me more than once, you can open a new terminal, right? If you know that this is at port 5000, you can say the sov-i colon 5000, and then you'll get information about where your process lives. In this case, we can see that the process lives, so the node process lives at project ID 9323, right? So we can see it here. We can copy that and simply go and do kill and the project, kill and the process ID. So we kill that, and now when we run this again, you can see that there's nothing shown, right? And if we go back to our other window, you can see that there was an error and something finished that process, right? We could, I don't know if we can have this in parallel, but yeah, this was just a short video on how to find a process ID by port and kill it. The two commands that you need to remember are lesov. So let me see here. So lesov-i and then the port number. And then once you find the project, the process ID in which your process or program is running, you just do kill and then put there the process ID. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right, so that was just a quick video that we can turn into a tutorial, and that's also going to be a video for me not to forget how to do that, because I knew how to do it and I forgot the commands. So lesov-i on the port and then kill the port. And there is, you know, in here there was this helper in which you can find the process and kill directly, we can try this. Let's see. So you can so it would be yarn start again. So start that, and instead of this, we'll do arc first. Okay, so if we do -t, we only get the port number. So if we do -i, we get everything, right? So here we could do this, get this, and then kill that, and then we've killed it. Okay, cool, great. So this, we're gonna kill that terminal, and we're gonna do yarn start. So we're gonna get back where we were. I want to say hello to Jean-Marc. Nice to see you, and thanks for connecting and saying hello. All right, so we have our files here. So we're back at where we were before, and we were taking a look at the application. So our application here, let's probably just close our terminal. So we were saying that the entry point of this React application is at index.tsx. And that has the React.StrictMode and the application within. And here we have the HTML entry point, right? And this root component here is where our React application is mounted. And that is defined here, right? So the React component gets that element by ID. So let's say that React is loaded via TypeScript or JavaScript. The styles are also loaded. We load the app component here, and then we say, okay, mount my app component, which is being loaded here, into the root element by ID. So that's the element in here that has the ID with a value of root. Everything else is just the scaffold for how the application is going to be loaded. If you go into our localhost 5000 and we press on Mac Command Alt U, you can see the source code, and this source code actually shows what I just said, right? That file is being loaded exactly as we can see here. The only difference is that the application is actually building the bundle.js and putting it there, the CSS, and later mounting on the root. If you load this without React, you won't see anything on your screen, but then React mounts all the application into this div element. All right. Let me know if you have any questions on the way. This is a walkthrough of the application because we're going to be using this for the collaborative AI project. This is going to be our base. It's just a React application. And then we have to specify a place in which the application knows how to build. And if we take a look here, build, it does node esbuild config, and then TypeScript project, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is a bit more convoluted than I'm going to explain now, but here's where we explain or tell application how to build. Let's take a look at esbuild. This seems to me as an alternative to Webpack. Okay, so Webpack is the bundler or the application bundler that I know of and I've used. It's hard to work with, and it seems that Steve Ruiz is using esbuild, an extremely fast JavaScript bundler, and it seems to be a lot faster than Webpack. I don't know how they do it, but this is crazy. This is a really nice. The time to approximate 10 copies of 3JS library from scratch using default settings, in unification, source maps, more info here. This is a really nice graph. I mean, whoever made it is good marketing. We could see at some point how to use this, or even how to use Webpack. That is a good idea for future live streams. Okay, so that will put into topic ideas. Too many ideas. All right, so here we're gonna put web development basics. Let's say we'll put this here. Esbuild. All right. Great. And yeah, this is going a bit slow because it's slow. I mean, it's not easy. So we want, let's see, synchronous, otherwise it makes it there. We copy the file, so that's exactly the same. Build entry point. Okay, so this is where we specify our application, where it's going to go, and more things. Is dev server. And this is where we tell it that it has to serve. So for serve, we're loading from create serve. Right, so this is what's being used. These are nice things that we can learn from and use for development in our own projects. In this case, we're gonna use the project setup that we already have, and CLI plus API. Need serve. This sounds crazy. One function. npm init serve. And this is where it reloads. This is pretty cool. All right, so I learned something today. So I'm gonna make notes here of what things we've taken a look today, just to have markers later. So markers, and we'll have Radix UI, React, entry point 101, esbuild. Cool. Perfect-Freehand dev app building. Okay, so yeah, I want to say hello also to those of you who are online right now. Do you have any thoughts on what we're doing? Does it seem productive? I just don't want to jump into developing something that is going to build is going to be built on top of React and many things that I already sort of know how they work, but you don't have an understanding, right? Later we're gonna create a protocol for people to just expose their own interaction, let's say programs or bots or things, but for now we need to create the base application so we can get to work. Okay, so recap. We have a React application. It's served with create serve, it's built with esbuild. And we have a plugin for CSS models. So CSS files are being built as well. If it's a development server, the server starts, and every time we rebuild, this function runs, and on rebuild, we update. And if we have here that this is incremental, it probably doesn't rebuild everything, but just swaps whatever it has detected that changed. We're back now to React. So the entry point is at source/index.tsx. This is what's called the React entry point. It's the first file that is going to be called when we start or initiate the application, right? If you create a bundle with an entry point like this, it's going to be the first piece of code that is executed. That's going to be exported later to bundle.js, minified or not, and many other things. But we don't care about that right now. The important thing is that when our website loads with this code here, right, is going to load this file when the body is loaded, and this file is going to be coming here at index.tsx, which is our entry point, and executing this piece of code. This piece of code is going to say, okay, React render in the root element, which we saw is here, and it's going to render the app component, and the app component is our entire application. So that's when now we jump into app.tsx. If you don't know, TSX is the equivalent to JSX in TypeScript. JS is the JavaScript extension. JSX is JavaScript extension that allows for passing elements like this that look like HTML tags. And if we have TSX, is TypeScript with compatibility for those tags. So we can go here and look for JSX. And this is something that was introduced by React because it was really annoying to have to do this all the time. And this is how it's done, right? So this has created an element and then created a child element inside. If you want to see the differences, right, without JSX, where do we? Yeah, I don't know where the examples are, but that's basically what it is. Okay, so TSX app component, and now we open this app.tsx file. This doesn't have a lot of code either. We have also a call to React, so we're loading React. We're loading now our editor component, the controls, the panel, and use keyboard shortcuts from hooks. And our application is a JSX element. This is not the only way in which we can define it, but you know, this is typing the function type and or what's being returned from here. This is a JSX element, right? So if you take a look here, this is JSX elements, and all of these ones, so div, they all inherit from JSX element. All right, app wrapper, React.FC, function component, export default app wrapper. I don't know what this is for. So let's look at it so we don't do things that don't make sense. Thanks all. They are correct, but I was looking for a more detailed version. I did some research and found on these React TypeScript cheat sheets on GitHub. Function components, these can be written as normal functions that take a props argument and return a JSX element. What about React.FC and function component? You can also write components with React function component or the shorthand FC. Constant app, React.FC, blah, 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 blah. Some difference from the normal function. It provides type checking and autocomplete for static properties like display name, prop types, and default props. However, there are currently known issues using default props with React function components. See this issue, scroll down, blah, blah, blah. All right, so it's a function component. Explicit about the return time. It's implicit. Why is React.FC discouraged? Discouraged. This is a nuanced opinion, of course, but if you agree, want to remove from your code, you can use this JS code shift code mode. Okay, I'm not sure. Yep, rabbit hole. I don't know. We don't care at the moment. Let's close things here. Again, we're just looking at the app and we have this on. For speed of the live stream, I'm gonna stop it and we can continue. All right, so we use keyboard shortcuts from hooks, panel, control, editor, and we put them here, right? So we're putting our application here, and or the use hooks is just use keyboard shortcuts. If we go, so we start the application again. So if we go here and we reload, I press Command Alt J on Mac and go to Elements. You can also just click here and do inspect and you'll open this panel. You can see here dynamically the components that have been mounted on root. If I reload, you see that the application at the beginning doesn't have anything, but then suddenly the root component gets expanded, right? So you see there's nothing, and then whoop, the entire React application gets instantiated or mounted here. We have this div class app that was added here. This is something optional, we don't really need it. And then we have a set of components which, you know, they have obfuscated class names, I think. And we have all of these other components here, right? So each of these containers represents one of the items on the website. So we could dynamically say, okay, what is this component? It gets, you know, I click, right click, and then go into inspect, click, it selects here the element that belongs to that one. And I can see, you know, if we go up to this level, we can see that this website is made out of a few different components. Let's make this big. So we have this container, which has some layer that takes the screen. So I can remove that. That seems to be our canvas, right? I can do Control Z and go back. So that's our canvas. We have this container, which contains all of our customization panel, right? Also the top bottom, I think. And if we close, you see when I open it, this open class reappears. So I can actually click here or press delete, and that item altogether gets deleted. There is this other element that is separate, the clicker button, so I can remove it. There is this GitHub icon. There is the bottom draw element that I'm not sure you can see. So here, draw. I'm not sure what that is for. Clear draw, not sure, but we can delete it. We have this panel here, we can delete as well. And then we have the header, right? So if we do all of those, we actually see that there is one component. There is our infinite or endless canvas, right? So we can see here that that component, and I actually have, I can do undo redo stack. So yeah, okay. Going back, we can bring this back here. And what we can see is that there are different components. Each of those components is independent in some way, and it continues working even if we remove the others, right? So we could strip our application down to the basics. And what you can see is that each of those drawing pieces, right, is has some padding. Each stroke has some padding. So if I do this, for instance, that gets added into that container of my sketches. And it's not more than what I believe is an SVG drawing, right? Yeah, so it has an SVG drawing. It has a lot of transforms. So the width, the height, the translation of where it is, right? So I guess like this might be the origin of the app. So if we reload, we're gonna reload everything. Right, so this is here. I'm gonna try to inspect it again. Right, so we have the path and we have the transform. So if I untransform everything, so everything's gonna start. So this is the 0, 0 for application. And yeah, you see, so if I remove the transform of all of the strokes, they're all gonna start in here. That is where the 0, 0 of our application lies, right? So it's here. So if I drew, for example, letter A, when I right click and inspect, I can remove that transform. So let's try to inspect that one exactly. And the A will get located there. Oh, that's not it. Wow, okay, so this is great. So the application also has this is pretty cool. This is something, you know, we're getting a lot of stuff for free. As soon as the drawing, so this thing here is going to enter the canvas, it gets added into the actual canvas, right? Otherwise it doesn't get rendered. That's pretty cool. Okay, nice. So, and I think we can zoom in and out, so I can still do what I was saying that I wanted to do. You see, and we just get everything on the origin. Okay, great, cool. So that was just a quick overview on how React is rendering elements in our application. And what is super cool, if we reload this app, right? These re-renders are letters, so we can maybe draw letter B here and C and D, right? I can go here into the application. We can see that the dev server keeps running, and I could comment out the controls, for example, right? And this says updated dev, and now the panels of the controls don't show up anymore, right? So let me do that again. So I wait, and then the controls show up. So the app does reload automatically. It's like automatic refresh, and then we have the panel, which unloads the menu that was located in here. All right, so we have the editor, the controls, and the panel. And I'm not sure where all the other components are. So that's the panel. And it seems like the panel contains all of the UI elements, right? Yeah, so we have all of the UI elements there. You know, they are around the screen. So this is our panel has those elements. We could just load our controls, or we could just load our editor. And it seems like the editor is loading the important CSS. So I'm going to put the controls there. And now you see that the styling is being loaded probably. I don't know. I'll venture to say on the wrong place, but whatever. The application is really nice. Cool. And the dev server keeps updating, so I'm going to close that. We don't really care. And now we have the possibility of diving into these three worlds, right? The most boring probably is the panel. First, let's take a look at the hooks. We just load the hook by calling this function here. And this is here. So app from state, and we just have a set of commands. So we have use hotkeys, which is React hotkeys hook, and that seems to be a package. We are using a lot of packages. React hook for using keyboard shortcuts in components. This is a hook version for the hotkeys packages. Easy to use. Yeah, nice. So yeah, this is easy, right? Use keyboard shortcuts with using this library, and we could, we could add here, I don't know, like Command T, and we can say alert. You pressed letter or letter T, right? So our application reloads, and now I do Command T. Oh, that is a problem, right? So let's do maybe, let's see, what is Command I? Yeah, so let's do Command I, for instance. All right, so I do Command I, and then we get you press letter I, right? So that's easy. It's just a plugin that with hooks, it lets you attach this behavior into this is a hook, and we can call it on any component, and then we create another hook and applying it to the app component. So if I remove this from here, I'll lose the capability to do like to undo and redo with the keyboard. So we're gonna probably keep that, and yeah, so now I can do this and redo. Clear. So that's pretty cool because we can do things like this. Okay, so that works. So we have our clear. So we understand, right? We're diving into the application. So we see this is the React.StrictMode, the app gets created or instantiated or mounted, right? It's probably the term, mounted on the div that has root as ID. And that application component is here. It loads the use keyword hooks, that loads the React hotkeys hook library, and establishes or says what happens when you run a set of shortcuts. We also load the editor controls and panel components that are defined on the application we haven't seen yet, but we know that the panel creates all the UI, the bottom to bring our controls panel, the header, the GitHub link, the label draw on the left, and the redo, undo, and clear buttons, right? So that's the panel. The controls panel is this panel here with the UI that we can, in which we can tweak many different things, right? So let me just reset, so I can tweak things here and, like tweak things live. This is using the Radix UI library. And lastly, we have the editor, which is probably the most interesting, right? The controls are great, but the editor is the most interesting, and we're leaving it that for later. So we load each of these components saying, okay, load panel from components panel. This statement, right? So if we go, for example, to the panel, this statement, what it does is that tries to look in the index.tsx for something exported. So it's exporting everything from panel, right? Panel has its own CSS code here for styling, but really panel, apart from importing those CSS statements, it loads React. And then it also gets the state, right? Use app state and app. Import GitHub logo icon, hamburger menu from Radix UI React icons. That's the library we've seen before. We haven't looked at the state, right? So we need to see where state is. State is the top of the application. So in state, we have, what is this? Flash, tldraw, corners. I don't know what this is for, but React, the eSIM functions, we have state, right? So this is loading up from state. Okay, so this ports everything from state. I don't know why there is all other stuff here. And then we have utils, point in polygon, copy text to clipboard. Yeah, these are helper functions and utilities. So this is our state, right? So we're loading doc, draw shape, draw styles, and state from types. And types is probably also at the same level. So we have hooks, components, state, and types, maybe draw styles, draw shape, doc, state. Here's where we can understand the data structures that are meant to be used with this application, and it's really nice because we could build upon it. It's like a fully fledged application. Okay, so let's go back to state, and here we have tldraw core. This is a package that is being released, but it's currently something called sponsorware. So this is not open source anymore. This was made private a bit ago, and I'm not sure. So if we take a look here, so this is tldraw core. 3 hours ago. So he's working on this right now. Steve Ruiz of YouTube. Okay, so this package here, peer, blah blah blah. I'm gonna do one thing. So this is live stream. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna make the directory for live 42, and I'm just going to do really quickly npm init, and I'm going to npm install tldraw core. Just this package. I don't know how many dependencies it has, if any. But what I saw, what I saw is this, that this is now a private repository under development that is sponsorware. Example showing how the tldraw component can be used control in the React app. So there is a Discord server for tldraw. This usually makes my stream slower, so probably gonna close. All right, so this is still fetching. Okay, there might be a bit of lag when I do this. Right, so what we've done here is that now we have tldraw and its dependencies and the current state. Okay, so let's enter. All right, we'll take a look later. So this is the Discord server of the developers of the library that we're using, mainly Steve Ruiz. I don't know if there's any other people. Okay, so we have here the tldraw package, and this probably, you know, this is obfuscated, so this is just all the code in the library, so we won't see anything, but at least we have the package saved, and we're going to, you know, if I am here, okay, so I put that on folder 42, so I'm gonna do tldraw core backup. Is that what it is? So this is 42. -42, move. All right, so we have that folder saved now here. So this is tldraw, and we have core and intersect. And let's actually try tldraw. Is that a package as well? npm init yes, and npm install tldraw. All right, let's see. Back, okay. Now no package JSON. Let's see what's going on here. Next dev next dev. Wow. Yarn dev. So we see port is already in use. Let's go to Nono.MA new, and let's put the solution here. So solved. Okay, so I'm just putting here the error that I found, and I think we can just specify the port. Okay, so all right. Is the stream smooth? It says here that it's slowing down a bit. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure. Let me stop the application server. Okay, and let's try to see this up. Right. Are you guys, so is it going smooth? It says, YouTube said that it's going a bit slow. Right. Right, what else is here? We have more options. All right, this is pretty cool. Okay, so I can have pages. We can clear, we can draw. So for example, I can okay, so let's try, let's do a quick drawing. So we have this color. All right. So we can select this. We could deform it. All right, so we got this, and I could do now copy to SVG. Can I do that? So if we save here, it's really slow to paste things here. Probably better simply to do something like this. A little faster. Okay, so I'm gonna close this one, and yeah, so I've just saved these to SVG, so it seems like it's also there. Well, don't find it. All right, so yeah, this is an awesome application. So let's go back to here, changing document. Control props. All right. Awesome. So this is we're gonna move from examples to tldraw examples, so we know what this is, and we're gonna move it also to live 42. Great. I'm gonna close this. Oh, not that. Okay, so we were taking a look at the state because we've seen that we load tldraw core, we load these properties, and the pinch event handler, pointer event handler, shape utils, will event handler utils, and the vex from there. We load a lot of other utilities, and we use Sustan to persist state. So this is the document model. So we have page state, the camera point, selected IDs, ID page, default style, drawing styles. Okay, initial state, create content, state manager. set snapshot. On pointer app. So it seems like this defines the overall behavior of the application. This is going to be important for us. Right, there's a lot of state here. Zoom to content, reset styles. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff here. Okay, but our application has these components, so we are gonna take a brief look. So we need to take a deeper look into some of these things. Packages, dev, source, components. So the important one is the editor. We have the panel. So in the panel, we actually have the header, the GitHub button, hamburger menu icon to toggle, app toggle panel open. So these are commands. App toggle panel open. So we do app. We have all the commands that are defined on the state file. And we have draw, select, drawing tool, draw. On click. Yes, yeah, Mark. Yeah, we could do that. I mean, we could create save different steps on along the drawing and build a GIF on the fly. We have, so I have an example. I think it's this one, maybe or not. Not sure what example I'm talking about. This one, recording. Okay, let's see the commands. Recording. E. Okay, so in this app, right? So I have made the canvas small because that way it's faster. So I can draw, and I can actually say record. So you see the red thing, and in the bottom we can see the amount of frames that are being recorded. Right? And now I can press S, and then this means that it's saving these, well, the frames that we saved, right? So it's going to export them to the download folder. That takes some time because it uses the web worker on the tab. If we close, the process stops, but it should be, it should be happening. Let's see, is that being created? Let me take a look at the source code. Oh yeah, here it is. So we just created this GIF. Right, so that's with web components, so we can actually create a GIF like that. All right. What else? These as well could save. Okay, back to where we were. Okay, so select the drawing tool. That's what I was looking at, because I'm not sure what that does, right? We have this draw. Select drawing tool and okay, so patch states. We only have that status pinching. This upstate. Okay, so that's something to do with upstate. Okay, well, there are a lot of commands here and we could get lost, and yeah, these are other commands. So the panel calls commands that we define on state. Then we have the controls that has sub components. So controls, we find the colors, we load the colors, checkbox, select the slider, and the size change start. So yeah, we have a lot of handlers here. And probably just the UI element at the bottom. So if we were to change this live 42 and we put here the maximum to be 42 and minimum to be 0, there we go. So we have that being 42 and it's bound to the same property, so we can write. Okay, so yeah, we can customize these as we want, and we have the styles here. We could customize them, and yeah, then later individually, like the select, the slider, the checkbox, and the colors, right? So these are all custom components that are customized from the Radix UI library. All right, and then afterwards we have the editor. So the editor is here. So we have all this methods that we obtain from the app and window freehand app. And we have the render page state and pointer down. Everything's managed from the application. And then we have the TL core. So we have the renderer, which is in tldraw core. So we are not going to be able to get to the actual gist of this application and reuse it. we're not gonna be able to customize that. But does that matter? Can we just get the on pan? Okay, so state on pan. Right, so all the behavior is inside of here, so we could prevent panning, for instance, if we want it. And all right, so I think this work session was needed. So we've been taking a look. Yeah, what do you what do you mean from Steve? Are you talking, Rob? Are you talking about the tldraw core library? I think, I'm not sure. uh, oh, so where did you talk to him about this? Oh, his Discord. Okay. Did you write that? You asked that? I'm just curious. Okay, so that's September. So that's September 12th. So probably you didn't ask that. What channel is that? It's curious to read that conversation. Right, let's take a look of what we're using. Hey Steve, yeah, I'm testing a few different techniques for that. All right, that makes sense. Cool. Now I understand. In development, on the responsibility and time below. I don't. Okay. Well, that makes sense. I don't know. It's good to. It's good to see that at some point everything might be, so the core, the SDK might be open source, even if the rest of the app is not. But I will finish here. So I want to spend some time with you guys. So this is work session. I think it's work session 3. We'll hopefully be editing these ones and putting them somewhere that you can see for people to watch or rewatch or whatever separately. So I think so. Do we? Yeah. So what I'll do, I don't know. We haven't really changed anything, but what I can do is that I can move this. I can move this to. So we just understood how this works, right? So I can move this also to the folder with the files from today, and we'll keep working on this next week. How long have we gone for? Like an hour, 2 hours, probably 2 hours. Okay, yeah, so let me open here the keynote really quickly. So if you have any questions, comments, or any suggestions or any feelings about how this is going, this is the moment, because I'm gonna wrap it up in a few minutes. And yeah, for me, I think I've got a good sense of where this is going. Right, we have an application that seems it's going to be super useful for what we wanted to get with the live stream. So with the collaborative AI sketching project, we haven't done a lot with the AI sketching project today. I mean, only the kind of the drawing app overview. It's been a work session of the AI sketching app that we need, and we definitely haven't looked at WebSockets or any other sort of collaborative protocols. I think what we need is we could think of starting to develop the application with the inner workings of what Steve has put in place with the development application, and just trying to create a protocol in which we can add to that canvas some other overlaid images or something that just get the stroke that you're drawing with the pen, and submit that to the bots, right, that we want in order to receive suggestions on the same canvas. It was good to learn the overall architecture of the application, and another step that we need is to see how the WebSockets or WebRTC plays. We already have that awesome drawing app that has a working example of how to use the Perfect-Freehand and YJS to do the communication. So we have a lot of stuff covered, but we need to understand the how all of the things work before we can get to work with them. All right, so no breaks today, everything on one go. I'll remind you, if you are watching this live, support the channel, like the video. I don't really know if these likes stay after the live is published later, but it helps. I think this supporting the channel is good. It makes people find the videos better, and you can subscribe, and I'll, it'll notify you when I go live next or when I publish new videos. I'm gonna make I mean, you can join the Discord community. We've mentioned it before. So and we have, so regarding the let me go back to that other screen. Yeah, and regarding the question from Rob, right? So let's actually make, so I like to record these as separate things. I don't have one for you yet. That image is super small. Not sure why it's so small. Got it. Sorry for the prep time. All right, let's try this out. Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is a reply to one of the questions on the live stream that I'm doing live. You might be watching this offline, but let's go with it. Oh, this is not it. Sorry guys, I'm a bit sleepy. I'm tired. I wake up really early on Thursdays and my mind cannot think right now. Okay. Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is a live reply on the live stream to a question made by Rob Beal. You can connect live on Thursdays, and we can also discuss things about the ongoing project. The question is your suggestive drawing bot easily abstracted from your previous front end? There's a short answer, and it's yes. And the slightly longer one is that the bots are simply pix-to-pix models, and they ended up working as an endpoint via WebSockets. We could also have them work via endpoints in like a REST API or HTTP calls. But here I think we might do them as well as WebSocket clients that connect to different places, right? So yeah, the bots were only, let's say, only a different pix-to-pix model trained on different data sets. So we could get that part and implement it into our system. What is not easily abstracted, let's say, from the system is that it's an iPad app and everything's written in Swift with like UI elements in that work on Apple devices only, but not on the web. So yeah, the answer is yes. We are going to probably start working on that, and not only with my, let's say, bots, but with other algorithms as well, like hopefully light versions of StyleGAN, pixel to style to pixel, and other generative adversarial networks or other networks that might alter or improve our drawings or change them in different ways. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay, so that's a quick video that we just made. Thanks, Rob, for the question. I like doing these ones, so if you have other questions, we can do them anytime. And I want to do also a Q&A, right? Like I want to do a Q&A at some point. We should meet the people who are interested. So it seems that we're gathering interest from different people. So we should meet on a Zoom meeting and maybe even have that live in a live stream. And we should get to know each other and talk about the project and see. I want to get the project going a bit more. So when we have a bit more content or something that people can actually play with. And yeah, I would say, so the challenge, what we could do this week, maybe let's write it here. Try to build Perfect-Freehand development server on your local machine and customize, change UI components from it. Maybe add new buttons or sliders or behaviors, right? So that could be a good challenge. So I'm gonna replace the pin message. And yeah, so with that, if you guys don't have any other comments or questions, so I'm gonna call it a day. So let me go back there. It was a pleasure being here. I think this has been a productive session. It was Nono Martinez Alonso here. You can watch any of the previous live streams or videos at Nono.MA/live, or just go to YouTube and look for Nono Martinez Alonso. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Would love to do a live conference. Yes, and now I'm going to do something that I always forget. So I'm going to try to record just myself, a few stills that I can put on the live stream that is not always the same that I have. This is really weird. That's weird. Thanks, Abashol. No, have a good night. Yes, John Mark, Soje, Rob, Ricardo, Juanda, everyone who connected, thanks a lot. It's a big effort, but I enjoy it more and more. And I do think what's going to come out of this season is going to be great. I still have a lot of work to do for the ML course to get started. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I probably just have to start with whatever. And we might do it informally and not as formal as I thought. But yeah, let's see. I need to find the time to prepare the classes. Again, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.